cried and nobody is listening. But it's much disturbing now that the politicians are now turning around to blame the Biafran people for the insecurity in Biafra land. If there's anybody who is going to take the blame of the insecurity, it is the politicians themselves. The politicians have been the ones who have been sponsoring the insecurity in the southern part of Nigeria. They sponsor the unknown gunmen and they push them aside to begin to kill the Biafran people and take the life of innocent people, trying in one way or the other to demonize the Biafran people, which is a plan that has been long coming. No matter how they try to pretend, no matter how they try to blackmail the Biafran people, we continue to stand our ground and we continue to shout onto our voices and speak up for the Biafran people. A lot is going on. A lot is going on. It is no longer news who is responsible for the insecurity in the southeastern region. They try to blackmail the ESN and say that ESN are in charge, that ESN are causing the insecurity. But from every indication, it is becoming more clearer every day. It's becoming more clearer that the people who are sponsoring the insecurity in Biafra land is the politicians themselves. Look at Anambra State. Anambra State that have been peaceful before Soludo come in. Today, Soludo have destroyed Anambra State, and Anambra State is about to become another war zone. Soludo is trying to open up another war gate in Anambra State. And tomorrow, people will be asking who is the sponsors, the non-government, and who are the non-government. Before your own very eye, you saw Soludo recruiting youths. Soludo and all his criminal gang, they came out and formed what they call a vigilante group. They brought their vigilante to begin to take the life of innocent people in Biafra land. And we cannot accept that. Welcome, Lillian. Thank you so much for joining, Lillian. I appreciate you. Please share the video on your platform. Share to family and friends. Soludo today has become another vampire in Biafra land. He went and recruited some evil men to begin to take the life of Biafrans on a daily basis. And that is what they are doing. He went and recruited some criminals. You saw the video of the criminals where they were marching with all kinds of weapons. Those are a bunch of criminals who are going to be the next stage of the known gunmen. And the only assignment they have is to make sure they continue to demonize the IPOB, demonize the ESN, continue to take the life of innocent people just to make a statement. It has been made very clear time and time again that if Soludo sincerely wants peace in Anambra State and he wants to stop sit at home, the only thing he has to do is to openly demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He must have to come out openly and begin to speak about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We cannot accept any language of saying you are doing something on the ground or doing this on the ground or doing that on the ground. It's unacceptable. No underground work is accepted. As far as the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is concerned, no underground work is accepted. Every politician in the southeastern part of Nigeria is expected to speak openly, boldly. Even those of them who are participating in their so-called, who to be president of their one Nigeria that we are not part of. Those Biafrans who want to be part of it. The only way they can be that is to demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Without Mazi Nnamdi Kanu coming out, you cannot get anything that contract from Nigeria. Already you can see that they have tricked you. They have tricked you to go and kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and today nobody is listening to you. You have become much more irrelevant than ever. All this while you forgot that it was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that gave you all the relevance that you have all this while. All this while it was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that gave you the relevance that you had. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that made the Janjaweed to be afraid of you. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that made Janjaweed to begin to look at your own side. But since you by yourself went and kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today you have seen that things have changed. It is now a different ball game. Everything have changed, and nobody is listening to you, and nobody will ever listen to you. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter your blackmail. It doesn't matter the angle you're coming from. Nobody will ever listen to you anymore. And as the day go by, you are becoming more irrelevant. more irrelevant. And tomorrow you see somebody coming to talk about the unknown gunmen. It is no longer a story. The unknown gunmen we are seeing today are the creation of the politicians in the Biafra land. The creation of the politicians. They created it and they are not hiding it. So many of them have come out to testify that they are the one that created the insecurity that we are seeing in Biafra land today. They created it. They created the unknown gunmen by themselves. They formed it. And it is not a joke, it's not a blackmail, it's not a propaganda. That is exactly what it is. They created the unknown gunmen, they formed it, they established it, and today you can see the problem that is happening in Biafra land. Biafra land has become another war zone. They opened another war zone in Biafra land, and you can see it on daily basis getting worse, and it will never get better. It will not get better. As the day go by, you see more difficult situations appearing. As long as the military remain in Biafra land and they continue to take the life of the innocent people, if you don't start the attack, the problem will continue. Stop the attack on Biafran people. You are taking the life of innocent people, destroying the livelihood of people, making people women widow, and making children orphans. Then what do you expect them to do? You want them to fold their hand and continue to watch you? As long as you continue to destroy life with your military, the people who will fight back will always be there. The people will fight back. Yes, they will. You're a joker. Your blackmail will never work. If you like, use all the media houses in that country to begin to preach your evil agenda and begin to preach your evil narrative. It can never stand. The people are wiser now than ever. The people in Biafra land, even in that country, everybody now knows the games of the government. And they are the people who are going to commit the crime, and they will come back to blame the citizens. If you think they don't know your game, you are joking. If you think people don't know the game you are playing, you are joking. Everybody in Biafra land knows the game you are playing. Everybody knows the game. You are the one that will do the killing, and you are the one that will look for somebody to blame. But in all things, you see Chukwu Okikabiyama using one of you to reveal the evil that you are perpetrating. That is why Hobu Uzodimma will never stop confessing. Hobu Uzodimma will not stop confessing. At every point in time, you see Hobu Uzodimma coming out to confess about the crime and the evil they are committing, the politicians are committing. In one time or the other, you will see Hobu Uzodimma coming out to confess. Not only Hobu Uzodimma, some of the politicians, they come and confess that the people who are perpetrating the evil, they are not Biafrans. They are not Biafrans. They are not agitators. IPOB has been exonerated so many times from the death that is happening in Biafra land. It is these politicians creating the unknown gunmen in different angles. The PDP have their own unknown gunmen. APC have their own unknown gunmen. Excuse me. The governors have their own unknown gunmen. Every group have their own unknown gunmen. Disturbing the livelihood of the people. And at the end of the day, as a member of ESN, none of them have done anything. None of them is an unknown gunman. They are only Biafran. Just because they are the first of Biafran. That is why you go and burn their houses, destroy their properties. Take their life. And after doing all this, you think that people will not revolt. When you see people fighting back, you'll be wondering, why are they fighting back? Apart from the unknown government that the politicians have created themselves, there are still people who have volunteered themselves by their own self because of what they have encountered in that country called Nigeria. Because of what you have done to them. Because of what the country have done to them. Your police and military has continued to kill Biafran people at every given time, in every given opportunity. They have continued to render people useless, continue to destroy the property of people, continue to destroy businesses of people, continue to destroy families. And as long as they continue to do all these things, people will continue to revolt. People will revolt. And those people will revolt without anybody telling them what to do. They will take vengeance. By the time you make a child fatherless, you make a child an orphan, what hope is left for that child? What hope? What hope? Because I know very well that the government of Nigeria does not have any plan for orphans. When you go and destroy the business of somebody and burn the businesses down, what hope are you giving to that person? What you want the person to fold hand and begin to watch you? What business do you want the person to do after destroying somebody's means of livelihood? You set it on fire, destroy it. Then when the person come out tomorrow and take up gun and begin to fight against you, you'll be asking who, from where. You'll be looking to who is sponsoring and who is not sponsoring. If you want peace in Biafra land, what you have to do is to call off the military operation in Biafra land. Call off the military operation. There is no need for any military operation in Biafra land because there are no terrorists in Biafra land. The only terrorists we have in Biafra land today, the terrorists we have in Biafra land today are the Boko Haram military that you sent. The initial people who wanted to come in, the initial terrorists that wanted to come in, the ESN stopped them. ESN stopped them. They couldn't come in. ESN stopped the terror. They couldn't come in. You saw Farambaka confessing to that. But when you saw that ESN have stopped them, they couldn't come in because of your evil agenda. Because of your agenda of colonization, you decided to go and bring members of Boko Haram, gave them uniform, and push them to that southeastern part of Nigeria to destabilize the southeast, take as many lives as they can, destroy properties and livelihood. And that is what they are doing. Go and check their footprint. There is nowhere you will see a legitimate army doing what they are doing in Biafra land. Even in the north, where you have the terrorists, in the north, where terrorists have shot down airplanes, terrorists have shot down airplanes, not once, not twice. Terrorists have attacked airports. Terrorists have attacked train stations. They still have people they hold ransom up to today. You have not seen the kind of operation they have in the southeast. We never heard of burning houses. We never heard of where they went and burn houses to destroy properties in the north. It is only the Boko Haram they said they are making the destruction. But in the southeastern part of Nigeria, that thing that Boko Haram is doing in the north, that is what their military is doing in the southeastern part of Nigeria. In Biafra land, that is what they are doing. Destroying properties, destroying lives, destroying businesses, taking the life of innocent people for no just cause. What does that tell you? It tells you that the Janjaweed in that country called Nigeria are running a government of the terrorists. That is what it is. It is what it is. No matter how you try to pretend about it, no matter how you try to hide it, it is a truth that is staring you at your face, and it will continue to stare at you. No matter how you pretend, it will continue to stare at you. It will continue to stare at you. That is why everybody has to wake up. Every Biafran has to wake up. We cannot sleep anymore. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared of somebody calling you terrorist or somebody giving you a name. Your enemy will never give you a good name. What matters is what you're fighting for. Are you fighting a just cause? Self-determination is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. So you have to hold these two things very dear to your heart. Self-determination, that is the only thing that have to give you dignity and give you life, because you have been totally rejected from the contraption called Nigeria. You are rejected. Nobody wants you anywhere in Nigeria. You are not wanted. You are not wanted in Nigeria. That is why every time you see them using you as a punching bag. When they talk about their one Nigeria, their central point of their one Nigeria is to look for a way to destroy the Biafran people. Look for a way to speak against the Biafran people. That is the way they promote their one Nigeria. There is no other way they promote it except for demonizing the Biafran people and calling them all kinds of names. That is why we have to get out of that country. We are not getting out of the country because of our resources. We are not getting out of the country just because of the marginalization. We are getting out of the country to save our life, because it's a matter of life and death. We want to get out of the country because the country doesn't want us in. They don't want us anywhere. They don't want us anywhere. And the country, the company called Nigeria, has no plan whatsoever to get better anytime soon. They have no plan to get better anytime in the future. That is why no sane person will like to be part of this very evil enclave called Nigeria. It has nothing to offer to anybody. Not only to Biafra, no indigenous tribe is benefiting from that very country called Nigeria. No indigenous tribe. The only difference is that the Biafrans are the only people who are very vocal. They cannot be silent. And they do not want to wait until the ship sink before they will move out. That is why they are crying on a daily basis to get out of that contraption before the ship sinks. We don't want to wait on the ship sinks. It is not going to sink with us. For those who want the ship sink so that they can begin to call for rescue and look for a way to escape, we don't want the ship to sink with us. We want to be out on the shore before the ship sink. That is why the call for breakup is sounding louder than ever. The call for Biafra, the call for self-determination of Biafran people is getting louder than ever. And we cannot relent. We can't relent. Because the enemy we are dealing with are monsters. They will never consider. They will never consider. They have succeeded in convincing the people who are supposed to fight along with us, the politicians who are supposed to speak for us. They have succeeded in putting them in their pockets. Even when those politicians loot money that was meant to develop our area, they will not talk. The federal government will not talk. They will not support. They will support them. Even when you protest against them, the federal government will come after you with their military. That is how they support evil. That is how they support insecurity. That is how they support death. They don't want anything that's going to favor us. Because before their own very eyes, every allocation that was given to the South is embezzled. Is embezzled. They know people who embezzle it. These people even share the money with them. They share the money with them. The money that was meant to develop the area. And they are never held accountable. If you try to hold them accountable and ask you, why are you fighting? Why are you doing this or that? Free. Biafra must be free. And for the records, the unknown gunmen you are hearing about is the makeup of the politicians, sponsored by the politicians. Hear it and hear it clear. We have nothing to do with them. The politicians are the ones sponsoring it. The federal government are the ones sponsoring it. The federal government sponsor it directly and indirectly. They sponsor it directly by using their DSS and some other of their forces to take life of innocent people in order to blackmail the ESN. They have done it during the NSAS. They have done it on several occasions, and they are the one that introduced the issue of unknown gunmen. We have been hearing unknown gunmen long before now. The unknown soldier. We have been hearing about the unknown soldier. Unknown. For a very long time. We had the operation of the unknown soldiers, how they take life of innocent people, innocent indigenous people. They were never held accountable. Nobody represented. The only language they use is unknown. And it was them that still introduced this very unknown gunmen we are talking about today. They introduced it. So don't try to exaggerate yourself and begin to look at someone else or begin to look at somebody elsewhere. You are the one who is responsible for the insecurity in the country. The politicians, the cabals. Buhari himself is one of those who are supporters of terrorism. But it's so sad that in all this truth that is very glaring and staring at our face, United States wake up and they still want to sell arms to Nigeria. In the face of all this insecurity, in the face of all this evil that we are pointing out, United States still want to go ahead to sell arms and ammunition to Nigeria to begin to take the life of innocent people. It is sad, but that is the situation. What does that tell you? That tells you that nobody cares about you. Number one, as a black person. Number two, as a Biafran. Nobody cares about you. Nobody wants to fight with you. Nobody have anything to do with you. It is you that will free yourself. That is why we are calling every Biafran to continue to obey the sit at home. Obey the sit at home. Whenever you hear sit at home, please kindly sit at home. When you hear any instruction, follow that instruction to the last. Don't look back. You hear sit at home, you sit at home. Economic sanction, participate in it. Whatever action that is being called upon, participate in it. That is where we're going to free ourselves. There is no other way we can get freedom except that. No international community will free you. The Janjaweed will not free you. The lawyers cannot free you. The court cannot free you. The judge cannot free you. International community cannot free you. US, UK cannot free you. It is you that will free yourself. That is why we are calling upon all the indigenous tribes in that contraption called Nigeria, wake up and free yourself. Because what is about to come, if you are not standing firm, you cannot be able to withstand it. I thank you for giving us Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who have established a standard and given us a hope where we lay our hope and fight. May Chukwu continue to guide and protect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you so much for joining me on this very brief brokers. I appreciate you, everybody who have joined. Please share the video to other platforms. I made it very short so that I will not waste your time. Share it.